Welcome to Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
I'm V-Fire.
And I'm David.
David.
I'm so sorry for last episode. I sounded like a frog the entire episode. It was awful.
Oh, no. It was impressive that being as sick as you were that you managed an episode at all, so...
I tried to edit out all of the coughs and sneezes and whatnot, and I got a good majority of them. But there's still a few that bled through. It's I can't cut that out. It just bleeds over everybody else's track too much.
Oh no! Oh, well, I'm glad to hear you're feeling better and sounding better.
Thank you. Everybody, we're all okay right now, right? We're all gonna make it, right?
Oh man, tested negative yesterday, so I'm hopeful.
Yay!
Fantastic.
Now, if only I could just work from home.
Mood. Big mood.
But anyway, how are you guys at home doing? Tell us about it. You can send us an email if you'd like at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
you can fill out the googly Google form at cosplaystitchandseam.com or
go to the Facebook page and send us your message there. Join our fantastic groups for our Work in Progress Wednesdays, or join our hype channel that's brand new on our Discord server where we just talk about, hey, I need some hyping up. I need a little bit of support. I need some chutzpah sent my way. Chutzpah. I've been watching a lot of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so chutzpah is the words. And while you're on the internet, if you want to help out the show, there are many different ways to do it. You can tell a friend, join our super secret club of telling a friend. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Audible, or wherever they let you leave them. And of course, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplay stitch. For $3 a month, we give you a shout out every single episode. And on our $5 tier, you get to join our monthly D&D live stream called the Cosplay Chronicle. Since I had been very sick for the month of January, we skipped January. I apologize personally to all the people who enjoy it every single month. We will be doing one come February.
Yay!
wow!
And as usual, if you guys want to check out foxbeautycosmetics.com and all their fun merchandise, you can do that and also use their promo code Stitch and Seam, all one word, to get 10% off your purchase of all vegan, not tested on animal products. This episode, we decided we need to catch up on some horror stories.
Horror stories.
We've got
spooky. I made a song.
Yes, I love this song now.
Now on the first of every episode.
every horror story segment, it's going to have that now. I want you to realize what you have done, Mercedes.
Oh no, what have I done?
But thank you, everybody, for sending in your stories and kind of giving us a day off so we just get to have fun and read all of the wonderful, amazing, and horrible things in our horror stories vault. So, without further ado, who wants to go first?
Before we do jump in, I do want to say real quick, we got some really great messages from everybody. Some of them we're not going to read word for word, just a quick surmise of what happened. Sometimes there's just a little bit harsh language that we want to avoid on this family-friendly podcast, and some situations that might be upsetting to some folks. So we're just going to make sure that we play it safe for our entire audience. Don't think that we think any less of your story. We would love to hear more about your experiences and all those things, because you're what makes this podcast at all. It's you guys talking to us.
Yeah.
Yay!
I like that. I'm going to grab this one from our Discord because it's been waiting for a while. This one comes from Sakura Rogan. It says, I haven't posted a horror story before. My mind keeps bringing this one moment around while listening to the podcast and crafting on props and armor. So around this time, several years ago, I had a day off from work and was trying to get the blade part done for a friend's cosplay that we needed for Bonsai Weekend. The cosplay was Haku from Yona of the Dawn. I have just cut the blade part out with my jigsaw beforehand while there was a windstorm starting, and I had to put it aside. So the next day I was sanding the wood into bevels for a glaive. So the people around me love to move my stations around, and from the windstorm earlier, it could have been a number of things that could have misaligned what I'd been using in place of a decent working station. Normally it's warbling when the machines are on, but not a lot that the noise would cause me to stop. This day, the stones were misaligned and I didn't check before starting to work. Setting up my belt sander on an axle like a blacksmith, it warbled more than usual.
Oh, I have done this before.
Oh no. Working on the blade, it was enough for the sander to fall right on my lap. It was a good thing I was wearing my baggy, worn-out crafting shirt, or it would have been a trip to the hospital, and it jammed the power tool enough to turn off. Needless to say, I survived and am okay. Always safety check before using power tools and use the right safety gear. And Sakura Roguen has attached some pictures you can check out on our Discord of the poor mangled shirt that was sacrificed, but luckily not them.
Oh my goodness. I've had when there was like one time where I was like using one of those and my like something felt like it was biting my head. I had some stray hairs because I always wear my hair back when I work with power tools, but I had some stray hairs that had come out and they were getting grabbed by the belt sander, and it just feels like little bug bites, and I don't want to know what all of the hair coming off my head would feel like. So
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I was like, I went inside and like put my hair back more. But yeah.
Oh man.
Be careful with them power tools.
Dang. Well, Fire, do you want to grab one of the stories?
Yes. I've actually got one on our contact form from Polish Frog. I love the name. Howdy, I wanted to share a kind of short story about my first cosplay. Me and my two friends wanted to get into cosplay, and because Halloween was coming up, we decided to do it. We had decided on France, America, and England from Italia.
Oh,
I was France, obviously, because I'm fabulous. Polish Frog, yes you are. My two friends were obviously England and America. So the first thing to go wrong was our costumes. England bought their cosplay from a really sketchy site, so it was way oversized and made them look like a noodle. And America just bought the wig and put on a Yoshi shirt. That was pretty cute though, so it wasn't that bad. That is really cute.
Yeah.
I managed to find a wig that I thought was a France wig. Turns out it was for 11 from Stranger Things. We live in rural Tennessee, so no one knew who we were, but we were having fun and didn't care. Halfway through the night, we came to this one house. A sweet old Southern lady opened the door. She looked at us and says, "Candy or vegetables?" We thought she was joking, so in a very out-of-character manner, America says, "Vegetable?" And this lady brings out, I kid you not, a whole broccoli, hands it to America, and shuts the door. That was an odd night.
I want to be that old lady someday.
Candy or vegetables?
All right.
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
I
Wow.
love broccoli, man.
Dude,
What
especially
a,
if you
like-
get it cooked right. Oh.
What a baller move. I love it.
It's amazing.
All right. I've got one from our Facebook from Alexandra Flores. Oh gosh, my first time cosplaying a costume I made last May. I was Cammy from Street Fighter, one of the bests. I've been doing MMA for quite a while, so I have the muscular
Heck
body
yeah.
for it. And
Ooh.
she's one of my favorite fighting game characters because
that's
everyone
freaking awesome.
underestimates her.
Yeah.
Her only function is basically to show how strong everyone else is. She's cute, loves cats like me. She's nothing more than a punching bag that I relate to. Oh, honey.
Aww.
Anyway, my invisible bum cheeks were the only lewd thing about the cosplay, and I see people with less clothing at the local pool, so I didn't think anything of it. It's taken me a long time to be able to have the confidence to not only show off my creation, but show off the body I've been building for a long time. Heck yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah! Be proud of
Nice.
yourself and the work that you do. So I was having a good time until a girl tapped me on the shoulder and goes, "Did you give him permission to take a picture?" I was really lost and said I'd been taking pictures with people the whole day, and she said, "No, I mean the man that's been following you around and taking pictures of your butt." I had no idea.
Ugh.
And normally, I'm extremely perceptive of people following me around. I saw the man when she pointed him out, thanked her for letting me know, and went up to the front to confront the guy. Obviously, I told him to delete the picture. He just laughed at me, so I decided to take the opposite approach, and I said really loudly, "Hey man, if you want to keep taking pictures of my butt, then all you have to do is ask, and I'll give you a much better angle." That caught me off guard. He was embarrassed. Lots of people heard. He kept stammering that he wasn't doing anything like that, and then he vanished from the convention. Other than the guy, everyone was supportive and positive.
Oh,
but
dang.
That was my first time cosplaying as an adult at a convention, and I never thought something like that would happen to me.
Wow.
Yeah, there's gross people out there, but remember, keep your friends close. Reach out to, any authorities or staff members, and make sure that, people are held accountable.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
I was gonna say, on that note, the last one from the contact form is just short. It's just 2 sentences on something around that.
Mm-hmm.
Ash, says that they were hit on by somebody at a convention. They didn't know who he was, got bad vibes, said no, and later on found out that he had done some terrible things to another girl at another con. And you know what? Go with your gut. If you feel like something's wrong, get to your friends. Don't go away with strangers. Don't do stranger danger. Usually your gut's probably going to be right. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's why I don't leave the house. My gut usually tells me there's just terrible things outside.
Oh, what a mood. Oh, man. Let's see. I have a really good one on here from Silver Deeds where they had some horrible, terrible staining that happened to their costume because water got spilled onto some stuff that was dyed, and it got onto a white fabric, but they got it out. Luckily, it's told really well with the pictures, better than I can with the words. But that's a good one to check out. But the one I wanted to tell, I had to tell this one because I was part of it.
Oh
no! This one's from Sumikins, who sends us a lot of really good ones. But she was stage ninjaing for me so hard she fell off the stage. So let's see, Sumikins. So this was far from my first time on a stage. I did dance recitals yearly from the time I was 3 through 16, and I've been on dozens of stages at conventions around the country and abroad. I'm used to stages of all kinds, but I'm also used to safety measures. I won't name the convention. Those who were there know. Anyway, I was assisting Panin as a stage ninja for her solo skit entry as this con in 2019. About 2/3 of the way through, I was finished, and as we'd rehearsed, I backed as far to the side of the stage as I could. I was dressed head to toe in black with sunglasses, so I was already pretty invisible. We'd run it at least once during tech rehearsal that morning and had no issues. Maybe it was adrenaline, but I took either bigger or more steps backward than when we'd run it during tech. My final step was right over the side of the stage. For some bizarre reason, the stage had guardrails on the side that people were told to enter and exit from, and along the back of the stage, but not the opposite side. My foot slipped right off the edge and down I went, falling sort of feet downward. I tumbled backward between the black curtains, knocked into a couple of light stands, and the combination of equipment and cords I think helped slow my descent, and I landed thankfully on my butt. Adrenaline pumping, my first thought was that I needed to get back up on stage because I was supposed to help pick up props. I looked up and realized that the stage was probably about 8 feet up. I could have reached up and barely skimmed the edge with my fingers. Suddenly, there were about 3 staffers behind me asking, "Did you just fall off the stage?" Their initial thought was that someone had jumped, but they knew me and knew I would never do that. And of course, they saw me getting up off of my butt. "Yeah, I sure did. Did you know there's no guardrail there?" I said, more embarrassed for myself than concerned about their lack of safety measure. For my part, they asked if I was okay, if I needed ice or medical attention. I assessed myself, my lack of impact above the waist, found no blood, could stand just fine, and declared I was fine, but was going to be bruised later. I hobbled around the side of the stage and asked if anyone had seen me. Literally, I was so stealth that my fall off the side of the stage went completely unnoticed by the audience and people watching from backstage. I skinned and badly bruised both my shins and wound up with a bruise the size of my fist on one butt cheek that took several weeks to fully heal. I laughed about it then, but in hindsight, it's really lucky I wasn't hurt badly. I think it could have been much worse. Hindsight. I think it could have been much worse if not for the equipment that broke my fall on the way down. In hindsight, I also should have asked for some ice. I could have really reduced the severity of that bruising, but adrenaline is a heck of a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What a drop.
Yeah, thank you, Sumikins, for your help during that skit. I was very grateful and very glad you were okay, because holy cow. I ended like for my part, I ended up like picking up all the props, going like, I wonder what happened. Did she forget she was going to help me with this at the end of the skit? And I just picked everything up and I walked off the stage. And then I see her waiting backstage, and I was like, what? And everyone's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, what happened? And found out that she fell off the stage. So, very glad she was okay.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Well, that was a journey. Very well written, Sumikins. Loved it.
Makes my bum hurt. Ow.
No.
Dude, I discovered that the desks at my work are the exact same height where I have found all these bruises on my hips.
Aha.
Apparently, I hip check the desks when I don't realize it.
Oh my gosh. I found, speaking of, like, this is not totally related, but I have been on TikTok a lot more, and I found this video of someone, like, walking with ADHD, and they, like, keep their head in the same place, but their body, like, swerves around furniture, and I'm like, this is so relatable. But then they, like, bump into things, too. And I'm like, yes, I know
why
this.
you calling me out?
How did you get this video of me?
Right. So I know the hip winging into things trouble. It is no fun.
Yeah.
What else do we got, Mercedes?
All right. Yes, I've got one from Tyler. So Tyler, enthusiastic listener, says the show is very informative and inspiring and is a great kick in the pants to work on projects. Thank you so much, Tyler. That was really, really nice of you. As for his horror story, he says, I have two with the same costume. It was my first ever armor type build. I built Moira's battle attire from Overwatch.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. Which, apart from being a nightmare to wear, I was super proud of it. It was made from several large pieces of EVA foam, mostly flat, with a fragile, complex backpack of tubes and foam. I debuted it at Anime Detour in Minneapolis, and it was cold and windy, and we were parked blocks away.
Oh.
Luckily, my friend had a cosplay wheelbarrow she had made.
Yeah.
And then just in parentheses, another story.
I want that one too.
I know, right? So we loaded all our cosplays into the wheelbarrow under a blanket and braved the negative 10-degree wind chill.
Oh my gosh.
No, thank you.
I hate that.
No.
We were almost to the convention when the wind picked up, the blanket flipped, and my sail-shaped armor pieces flew away into traffic.
No!
I bear no shame to admit I chased them headlong into the street and was able to thankfully paint over the scratches and glue on the broken parts in the hotel room.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
how after chasing them headlong into the street, the thankful part is to paint over the scratches.
Not
rather
your
than,
life.
thankfully, I didn't get hit.
I wasn't hit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, everything was great until a year later when my dad was moving me home from college. My Moira costume was placed gently on one of the seats, which he then collapsed and put his full weight onto to make space.
No!
He fully crushed the costume before my very eyes. It was ruined, completely totaled. I ended up remaking most of it, and even won a Hall Cosplay Award with it, so all's well that ends well.
Oh, jeez.
Keep up the great podcast. Sincerely, Tyler from Illinois.
Thanks,
And
Tyler.
thank you so much, Tyler. Your photo of Moira is amazing. That is incredible. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm glad you are
amazing.
safe. And also that the costume, you were able to remake it.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
geez.
Thankfully.
Got some more for us, David?
I do. I've got a couple that I'll go through pretty quick here. We got one from Victoria. She has a pretty long story, so I'll just make this one a little bit brief. She was going to do some cosplay charity work and met up with some people trying to, reduce the costs, travel in groups and whatnot. Turns out, bit of a jerk, and tried to take advantage of the situation. Reading into it more than not on further research, found out that he wasn't a great guy, and Victoria did the right thing by reporting him to the community heads so they could look into it and address that appropriately, and even reported it to the proper authorities as well. And that is really one of the best things that can be done, is just keep backups. If it's a new person, make sure you've got, what's it called when you like set a deadline of like, hey, if you don't hear from me from this time, just letting people know where you are, and if they don't hear from you, have them reach out just to make quality checks and whatnot. So thank you, Victoria, for sharing that story. And we also have another one from Lightning Potato. This one is heartwarming, even though it's kind of comes from a sad place where a friend of Lightning Potato was wearing a tail out in public and was kind of being made fun of. And in solidarity, Lightning Potato made their own tail to wear it with them.
Aww.
And ended up
so sweet,
being made fun of a little bit as well, which is just very unfortunate. But Lightning Potato did the right thing, reported it. Even when things got escalated in the story, Lightning Potato did the exact right thing, said no, told them to stop, and then went right to somebody to report the issue. Didn't happen again. Everything seems to turn out for the best. Fantastic job, Lightning Potato and Victoria. You guys did great.
Oh, that's rough. Thank you guys for sharing that. Like, it's super important to let people know that it's okay to say something or to be there in solidarity with your friends. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
I have one from our Discord that comes from Hockety Pockety, and I'm just going to give a slight gore warning because this one definitely gave me the gore chills a little bit there. Says, I have one from tonight, which was when Hockety Pockety posted it. Says, so I was working on a skirt that was taking me forever, and I was getting tired and frustrated, and at one point I tried to push the fabric in an odd... Sorry, David. And at one point, I tried to push the fabric in an odd direction and got cocky and accidentally sewed straight through my finger.
Ow, 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 ow.
I was lucky, though. If it was literally a 0.5 millimeter to the left, it would have gone through the nail. It was that close. But I just yelled, babe, and he was playing games next to me, and even though I was, like, in shock and unable to talk or move after I realized what I did, he saw me staring at my finger and was like, what do I do? And I'm like, spin the wheel thingy on the sewing machine. And, of course, he does, and it went deeper into my finger, which caused him to freak out more. And I'm just like, turn it more, it comes back around. And anyway, we got it out, and it hurt like heck, and afterwards it was all washed and bandaged. He told me I wasn't allowed to sew anymore, at least not tonight, and I was like, well, let me finish this skirt, I'm almost done.
Wait a minute. You guys want me to get better at my sewing skills, but we get stories from Hockety Pockety, and we get one from X-Angel, where the needle freaking exploded into 4 different parts. What? You want me to get better at this when my life is on the line?
Do you want to hear my story where I cracked my finger with the sewing machine?
Ew.
Cannon was there for that one.
Yeah, I've gotten my fingers with an industrial a couple of times, but luckily, this is like a point in favor of get those manicures. Because I had like a really good, like sturdy gel nail that I had just gotten done.
Oh
so
my gosh.
even though it like banged my fingernail real hard, it didn't pierce it. So it hurt and made like a little like blood blister under the nail. Gross.
Yeah.
But it didn't pierce it, which was really cool.
Yeah, I haven't ever like gotten my finger in the needle. That's not happened, but what happened when I was working with Pannon and using the industrial machines there was that they move up and down very quickly, and there's this little like screw thing on the side of the needle that moves up and down
the needle
quickly.
in.
Yeah.
I've
Anyways,
banged that so many times.
yeah, that banged my finger. Slammed my finger down onto the thing, and like plug your ears if you don't want to hear something gross. I like to describe it as cracked my fingernail like an egg. It hurt.
The visuals for that.
Yes.
No, thank you. Mercedes.
I shouldn't be laughing this hard, but it's great. It healed. I still have my fingernail. It hurt like crazy for a long time.
Oof.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, David, we want you to get better at sewing. Don't do what we do, though.
Uh,
I love you, David.
Love you too.
Whose turn is it? B-Fire.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I've got one from Candace that says, so I recently made a yukata for ALA. Since it was a specific design from the gacha game, Token Ranbu, I opted to use a custom fabric pattern my friend uploaded on Spoonflower since it was absolutely perfect.
Nice.
The fabric showed up. The color and the design were so perfect for the cosplay. I went to pre-wash the fabric and it shrunk by 2 inches.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, I finished the cosplay, but unfortunately it is extremely short. I'm still very proud of it, and I have plans to fix it, but I feel a bit awkward in all the photos we took.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh.
Especially when you pay to get the nice custom printed fabric. Darn it.
And then it shrinks. Yeah, definitely be careful about
I am
fabric shrinkage.
so paranoid about stuff like that. Like I will give myself several inches of extra space just in case, because I just worry.
Yeah.
I have a friend who, every time that she goes and buys fabric, she, just immediately throws it in the wash because of that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And, I get that, but I don't have that kind of time. That's a lot of fabric to wash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, continuing with our Facebook, we've got Maggie. Here's one. At the last con I went to, I was cosplaying Hawks from My Hero Academia.
Nice.
This character is known for his large red wings. I decided to build the wings myself a couple of days before the con. Honey, no.
Sorry, I was taking a drink right as you said a couple days before the con, and I about choked.
We've all been there. I'm always there.
Wait, it gets better because I have never made wings before. You never made. This is like when you watch a game show or a cooking show, or in my instance, because I always watch Forged in Fire. I've never actually done a Damascus build before, but I figured now is the time to do it on a game show where $10,000 is on the line.
Yeah, totally.
The audacity. I don't know how you have that confidence. I don't have that confidence of myself, but more power to you.
I don't know if it's confidence or just sheer blind panic. It has to happen somehow, and I have 2 days.
Because I had never made wings before, you could say I was winging it.
Hey! Nice.
Everything went great. Everyone at the con loved it. However, I made the straps on the wings to fit a backpack, which I attached with hot glue. Unfortunately, the straps kept snapping off after a few hours of walking around. I hunted down Cosplay Repair, and they tried, but couldn't reattach my stubborn straps. I ended up going back to the hotel room early and changing out, but I absolutely loved being Hawks, and I can't wait to fix up the wings for future adventures. And Maggie left a fantastic picture, and just chef's kiss. Look at the fantastic look of this. Oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
10 out of 10.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad there are so many fun pictures with a lot of these. Makes me so happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Our next one from Discord comes from PB and James and says, okay, y'all, we all have that one con where we look back and go, that was the worst con I ever went to. Let me tell you about mine. Let's start off with poor planning and communication, as our Airbnb had one bed. We were 4 people supposed to be crammed in this tiny apartment. No one knew but for the person who was in charge of the rooms on the trip. The host even felt bad about it, but I only found out because he was still there, actually staying in the place. Apparently his plans changed, and he tried to convince us he wouldn't be in our way, but it was terribly awkward, and I was worried about just leaving my stuff at his place. But Saturday night is what really makes this con memorable. Before our Voltron panel, numerous people in our group got absolutely trashed, the point where we were dragging them to keep them up, convincing them water was vodka, just so they would drink some. My partner at the time even threw up in the Detroit River as people actually looked on and cheered and encouraged.
Naruto's blowing chunks.
We had to wait in line over half an hour to an hour long just to use the elevator so we could drop those who were drunk off in the room and then sneak out so we could make our panel. My partner ended up running after us and still doing the panel, and yes, was still drunk while doing it. It was right before Voltron really kicked off. The time change and a rave going on meant there was like only 20 people max. Very small and intimate and very, very cringe. To this day, I still feel like I don't want to be on a panel because of the experience, and I've had numerous other weird panel experiences. Aw,
that would have been entertaining to watch.
Aw.
That has the same energy of like drunk Panem at con.
Oh, I know. I was like, I'm sorry, PB and James. I am the cringe friend.
Oh man. Oh
man.
Oh.
So good.
All right, what else we got, V-Fire?
All right.
V-Fire one off.
So bad. I loved it. So bad.
I've got one from Lynn. It says, broke both my big toenails and injured my feet in a cosplay because I was dumb.
Ow.
I still remember the pain. Okay, so for SakuraCon 2019, I went as, is it KDA or Kita?
Uh-huh.
Just KDA. Okay. KDA Ari from League of Legends. Her outfit features thigh-high pleather stockings and heels, because K-pop fashion. But because I'm on the taller side, the ones in the cosplay package didn't quite stretch high enough. I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
I found these liquid look ones online, and they were the perfect height-wise. However, the pleather toe area was pointed and not round. No biggie. They're a little tight on my feet, but I can still walk, and heels. The heels hide it. So I spend all day at con walking around in high heels and stockings, which, as the day wore on, got progressively tighter and tighter around my toes. Oh no. Toward the end of my day, my feet are killing me, which I assume is from walking for 8 hours. I split from my friends and head back to my hotel room. And I'm literally limping down the Seattle sidewalk, deciding I should take my shoes off, but didn't want to destroy the thigh highs on the dirty city sidewalk. So by the time I got to the hotel elevator, I had to sit on the ground. And when I finally make it back to my room, I rip the entire stockings and heels off, only to realize my feet had been getting crushed. As in, both my big toenails were broken, my feet were bruised. Such a dumb mistake. Took months for my nails to even start to grow out normal. My advice, don't take pain in a costume lightly.
Ooh, ow. I did that. Oh, I did that once with some shoes, and
I have crazy foot problems. So when my feet start hurting, I get off of them. I recommend that to everybody.
Good idea.
Take good care of your feet. You will regret when you don't.
Oh man.
It's like brush your teeth, guys.
And Lynn posted a picture with this, and you're right. You probably wouldn't have thought anything else other than oh yeah, that's just part of the costume. And at the same time, you notice, Lynn, if it's hurting you, it's uncomfortable, and you're going to be walking around in 8 hours, 2 hours. If you're walking around in 2 hours, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But I can't judge. I really can't. I get it.
It is a fabulous cosplay, though. I love it.
All right, so now back onto our Discord. Gamer Draco writes, "These are not just horror stories, but also public service announcements. I'm concerned." And we'll just quickly surmise it. Just had a bad time at a con. Just the con itself, probably not the staff, but the con itself seemed to have a hard time making sure that the right people were supported where they needed to. There wasn't enough support for the con goers in hot summer times. Didn't have any water or anything along those lines to help, your overheated fursuit friends, or just heavy, thick cosplays in general. Doesn't seem like they had a good time. Probably Gamer Draco will not be going back to that one anytime soon.
Oof. Yeah. That's tough. A lot of times, the people running the cons aren't always aware of the issues. So make sure if you have really hard issues, especially with like things like accessibility or enough water and things like that. Like, let the conventions know so that they can address it. And it sounds like you went back several times and they hadn't, but a sign of a good con is that they will address issues like that. So hopefully.
Or they had like even have like a feedback opportunity. So like any
for
chance
sure.
any chance that you can speak up for voices that may not necessarily be as easily heard, always take the opportunity.
Definitely. Our next one comes from Summoner Doormat. So this horror story has a happy ending. Yay! We've had some real sad ones. Let me just preface. But anyone who's gone into the competing ring knows how stressful it is in general. I was cosplaying as Deku Princess from Majora's Mask.
I love it.
I love that one. It's so cute. And you can see some of her progress and stuff on the Discord. It says, I came up with a concept to humanize her while retaining most of her characteristics. The headdress was really awkward and I had to carry it from the car to the center. My wig wasn't staying on, so I stopped by the cosplay fixing station. By the time I got everything secure on my head, my anxiety was fairly high, but I was excited to show the judges my hard work. Except there was a problem. In a white, cold sweat, I realized I left my documentation in the car, and I would have been too slow to get it and come back in time. Thankfully, I had friends who leapt into duty and saved my butt. Quick shout out to my friends for retrieving my documentation for me.
Yay!
Oh, that's awesome. It is so nice to have a friend who is like way more mobile than you when you're in a big cosplay with a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's so nice. Yay, a happy ending.
Yeah.
No, that one is so cute. The first time that I competed in Masters was actually with Chic, and at like those early years, like no, not early years. It was like the first year that Salt Lake Comic-Con was running. Salt Lake FanX now. But I forgot my documentation at home, and my husband was the savior in that one, where he's like, where do you have the file saved? I'll go and print it. And he printed it on like a nice paper for me and brought it to me. And I was just like, you didn't have to do that. I lost. But it was so sweet of him to do that and like support me. And I was just like, oh, yeah.
It's darling. Absolutely darling.
I love that.
Yeah.
X-Angel, what's up?
Yay!
I know what's up. I talk to X-Angel all the time. Most recently, I've been in the middle of moving. Since I'm also in the middle of a big cosplay project, I tried consolidating what tools and fabrics I need for the project and packing everything else up. My spouse asked about some tools in a plastic drawer, and they are needed, but for the very last part of this project that's still in the process of being purchased. Mostly leather tools, hat sweatbands, a broken wood burning kit, etc. I think on it and figure that if I don't get it unpacked in time for that part of the costume, I can ask one of my group members to use their leather stuff. Me. I'm just kidding. That's okay. That was the wrong mentality, as whoever helped me move this set of drawers didn't tape it closed. Oh, man. As it was moved from one city to another, the inside part of the drawer with all the tools and things came flying out of the drawer shell and got stuck in a snowplow's path.
Oh, no.
We got stuck in a what?
It fell out of the truck. This hurts me. This hurts me on a whole nother... X-Angel, you can come use my stuff anytime. The people helping move that day noticed it happen and went back to try and find it. But if the plastic drawer survived, it was completely buried in a newly made snowbank. So, once I get to that part of the project, I'll either buy new tools or ask to borrow some. So far, that's the only casualty while moving. Oh, that and my cookie sheets didn't fit in the oven.
No,
that's the true
dang it.
That's the true horror story.
X-Angel.
Oh.
Yes, you can borrow my tools.
Yeah, dang.
And we got another one. Seems like it was an eventful week for X-Angel. A different horror story, I did a test run of One Piece's Carrot before Anime Bonsai at FanX, and I ended up eating at a food court with my brothers-in-law. I'm a sucker for Mediterranean/Greek food, so I got some meat kebabs to eat. My youngest brother-in-law sits across from me, and as we're talking, I start to choke on a piece I couldn't bite smaller. That's one of my fears. Like, legit, like, I'm afraid I'll be, like, eating at home alone, and I'll just, not make it. In the moment, I'm stressing to remember what the universal sign for I'm choking is. Do I cross my hands at the base of my throat? Do I try and spell it out for help? It felt like 30 to 45 seconds, maybe even a full minute, of me struggling to breathe and trying to signal that I'm choking before my brother-in-law asks, "Wait, are you choking?" Relieved, I nod, and he says something to the effect of, "I don't know what to do!"
Oh
no! No!
Never mind that we're in a crowded mall food court with plenty of people. Finally, I cough up the offending piece of meat out before the other brother-in-law reaches the table, missing the entire ordeal.
Oh my gosh.
Took a moment.
That's so scary.
To take deep breaths, then realized I needed to get a grease stain out of the collar of my shirt so I could have it ready for Bonsai cosplay contest.
Oh man.
X-Angel.
I love our priorities here.
Obviously, I'm fine. I've just avoided beefsteak kebabs since. I can't say I'm
Oh man, that's so scary.
Oh wow,
my heart.
Oh.
Dang. Well, thank you guys so much for filling an episode with all of your experiences and stories, and it was so good to I don't know. I love hearing from our friends and listeners, and just. Even if they're scary or crazy or just fun experiences, I like hearing from y'all.
Yeah.
If you guys want to send us some for future episodes, we now need more horror stories or just fun con stories. You can send those to us at our email, which is cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or
you can go to the website and fill out the googly Google form at cosplaystitchandseam.com, or
go to the Facebook page. And while you're on the Facebook page, join our fantastic group. Send us a message. Talk to us there. Talk to our fantastic group. Tell us what you're working on. We'd love to hear it from you. If you're not a big fan of Facebook, we totally get it. We do have a Discord server that we have just nothing but cosplay related things. Somebody even asked in our video game channel of what's a video game that you think nobody else has played? And I got to learn that other people have played Mega Man Legends, and that was amazing to me.
Nice.
And we got to talk with Trofkaz about Mirror's Edge and Thrillville and Craft the World, really great small time games that just definitely need more light. I also talked about one of my favorite games called Thomas Was Alone.
I love that game.
It was $1 on PlayStation. It might be on other platforms. I have no idea. Highly recommend it. It's 3 hours of gameplay.
I have written tons of papers on that game for school.
Oh, really? Wow.
I will say my favorite response when I mentioned it in our server was Beef Jerky and Sprinkles writes, David, why am I becoming emotionally invested in a tiny block? What have you done?
Because it's such an amazing game.
Such a great game. So you can have all that fun, and you can see some of the pictures that we mentioned in our horror channel for our cosplay horror stories, or you can just send them there while you're on the internet. If you want to help out the show, there's many different ways you can do that. Leave us a review wherever your podcast app will let you. We appreciate those. That helps the algorithm gods. Tell your friends of the horror stories. Maybe have them send us their horror stories. We would love to hear those. And if you are in a financially okay place and you want to kick us a couple of bucks, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplaystitch. Some of the amazing people that we need to thank is Remy Stoa, Livy, Yggdrasil, Dr. Steggy, James Donaldson, Cynics, at Queer Eye Sci-Fi, Howl Cause, Hot Riku, Renamira, Jazzy Kofed, Jaguar Quinn, Glorious Juice, Sudi, Stacy Pitt, Shock H, and
Silver Deeds. Oh yes, thank you guys so much. Want to also give a shout out to foxbeautycosmetics.com, where you can use the promo code Stitch and Seam to get 10% off your purchase of all vegan, not tested on animal products. And a big thank you to Macy Roberts for the use of her music as our theme song, and to David Jeffress for his amazing editing. How are things going on your podcast? Podcast? Podcast.
They are going so great. We just read Moon Knight for Comic Trades Monthly. We talked about what it means to kind of relate yourself to a character like Moon Knight or the Punisher, someone that you really don't want to idolize as. We had a great conversation about like what it means to identify yourself with these violent characters and the ones who have their mental... their neurodivergence in control in an unhealthy way, and how we can kind of like get coping mechanisms from that. It's a great conversation.
Oh, that sounds so interesting.
Highly recommend it. Next month, we are going to be talking about the run of Nightcrawler from the X-Men. I cannot wait. Love Nightcrawler. He's one of the best X-Men out there. And if you enjoy more of an audio drama, maybe a long-term story, there is The Last Voice. You can find it on all of your podcasts, or you can even just go to lastvoicepod.com, find out everything there. And if you like Dungeons and Dragons and you just enjoy something a little silly, a little goofy with audio quality that definitely gets better over time, Dungeons and Chill is another podcast of mine.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. And thank you guys for sending in your scary stories. They left me feeling a little screamish, but we learned some great lessons on how to handle our cosplays and ourselves with scare. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
On our $5 tier, you get... Ooh, excuse me. That's embarrassing. And on our...
Or you can go to the... Wow. I forgot where I was going. Or you can go to the...
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Facebook page because I'm looking at it and it's like, that's not your part, Mercedes.
It's my thing, Mercedes. Don't take this from me.